Happy almost spring. This is Hannah coming at you from the Wine Vault. I've been working here at the Wine Vault since August of last year. I've been a club member though for over a year now. So what I get to do this month is present to you one of the March flights that I was able to curate. And my whole theme with this flight this month is March Madness, because that's what we're getting ready to celebrate, is the basketball tournament. I know it's a big deal for our family, and I was thinking through these wines, which are also some of my favorite wines, and thinking about their characteristics, thinking about their history, thinking about just different aspects of the wines that then would remind me of a basketball team. So actually every wine that I've picked, I also thought through and have paired it with a team that will hopefully, maybe, probably make the March Madness tournament this month. And what we're gonna start with, Andy graciously allowed a 6-wine flight this month. So this flight, our flights typically are 5 wines, about 2 glasses of wine for a flight. Well, this one has a bonus, so you get a little extra for your money. We are gonna start with a bubbly, because who doesn't love bubbly? This is a Cremant. Now, when you think Cremant, you know it's from France, but you typically think from the Loire or from Burgundy, because that's where we typically see those come out of, at least around here. This Cremant actually is from Bordeaux. This is something that Addie and Andy discovered during their trip to Bordeaux last fall, and I fell in love with it as soon as I tasted it. When you smell it, it's berries and brioche, and the bubbles just go on for days. So you're gonna love it. It's light and refreshing, but it does have good fruity flavor. When I was thinking about what team this wine reminds me of, I kind of went back to the fact that it's a Cremant from Bordeaux, and it's not something that, unless you're from there, you may not even know that they have it. And when I kind of come from that perspective, I think of the Purdue Boilermakers. Speaking to other people from out of state, they don't always realize that Purdue is in Indiana, or that they're really good at basketball. So I think it's time for this wine and the Purdue Boilermakers to kind of step up and show the country that they're a force to be reckoned with. So enjoy. Okay, our next wine, the only white on this flight, is actually new to the Wine Vault. It is from the Veneto region of Italy, and it's from the Soave region. It's made from the Garganega grape. When you smell this wine, there's a lot of complexity that kind of immediately hits you in the face. So you have a lot of like nuttiness and minerality, and behind that a lot of ripe apple and pear and citrus. This is just a really pleasurable wine to drink. And again, on the palate, you can taste all of those things. There's a subtle oak finish on it that kind of gives it a toastiness. And so it's light and refreshing enough to sip, but it also has enough complexity and structure to stand up to food. And when I first tasted this wine, it was actually with our distributor, Francois, and he told me that Soave was really popular back in the 70s and 80s, but it kind of just disappeared and fell out of favor. And so this wine, I think, is trying to make a comeback. It's really delicious. Everyone should give it a try. And that really made me feel, or I guess I should say, it really made me think of the Indiana Hoosiers. You know, they were really popular in the 80s. I know that's when my family were diehard fans. And they're trying to make a comeback, so maybe they can get that done. But until then, we'll just kind of drink our Soave and watch them try. All right. Wine number 3 is Rioja. We're going to Spain. And this wine, I think, has been featured on a flight the last month or two because honestly, we discovered it during one of our club tastings, and it kind of blew me out of the water. This is one of those that I bought several bottles because I wanted to just have it on hand. It's a great, easy, crowd-pleasing red. Very complex, but also this vintage on this flight is 2014. What I bought a couple months ago was a 2012, and when I tasted the two side by side, it was shocking to me how different they were. Rioja's a blend typically, and even so, usually with blends you get more consistency with from year to year. These two wines were pretty different, even though they're made from the same grapes, just a different percentage in the blends. Still really good, just really good Rioja with nice sharp acidity, good fruit, and then that American oak that they use so well. It's not overpowering, but it's definitely there. And so when I thought about, or I guess I should go back, this wine screamed Kentucky Wildcats to me because from one vintage to another, it was completely different, but good nonetheless. So, but I can assure you this wine is not a one and done. So, I think we're on wine number 4. I think, yes, wine number 4. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you the team first. And so this, to me, is like our Cinderella story. So you're like 2011 Butler Bulldogs, or your 2018 Loyola Chicago teams. This is another wine that's new to the wine vault. We just got some in. And it's a Sicilian red, and it's called Nero d'Avola. This red is something that if you like Merlot, you like Cab, if you're a red wine drinker, you're going to love this wine. It drinks very similarly, but there's a uniqueness to the fruit, and there's a uniqueness to the minerality, and I think that comes from the soil that it's grown. Sicily is a volcanic environment. That's where, you have your Etna wines there as well. So there's just a lot of complexity to it. It is Italian, so it's earthy and herbal, and you get so much from those volcanic soils. This is just like your ultimate pizza wine, or flatbread if you're here in the wine vault. Yeah, but once you try it, I think it's hard not to fall in love with it, and that's why I said this is definitely our Cinderella story this month. Give it a try. I hope you love it. Okay, this 5th wine is near and dear to my heart. This might be, I have trouble saying this is my favorite wine, because I love wine of all kinds, and it just kind of depends on the day, but consistently, this is top 3 of my favorite things to drink. And we actually didn't have one here at the Wine Vault until now. So this is Syrah, but it is from the Northern Rhone. And this is where Syrah originated. You have the Rhone Valley, it's divided into the north and the south. The south is massive, and it's typically red blends. Syrah is typically part of that blend, but in the north, Syrah is a single varietal wine. And I think just the Okay, and we're gonna finish up this flight with one of Italy's greatest reds. Brunello, this is a Brunello di Montalcino. Brunello is to Sangiovese what the Gonzaga Bulldogs are to college basketball. They are the pinnacle of their respective areas, and they're at the top of their game. So, my goodness, this just hits you in the face with leather and cedar and dirt, and I mean that in the best possible way, I promise. And then you get like a little bit of like tart wild cherry that comes in at the end too. So this is just it's an earthy, well-balanced, structured wine. This is the 2016 vintage. I think we have a mixture of 2015 and 2016. But with Brunello, this is what 2015 and 2016 are being lauded as some of the best vintages in recent memory. So no matter which one you get on your flight, it's gonna be good. They don't make Brunello unless they have quality grapes. So thank you for coming along on my journey and for putting up with my comparisons to the basketball teams, although I thought they were great. But come in and tell me what you think. And definitely try this flight. And I look forward to seeing you all this month.